everyone. Welcome back to Adobe Live. I'm Jack. Today I am joined by the lovely Rebecca Ferguson, better known as Fergie. Today, Fergie has a really cool project planned in Adobe XD, a gift wrapping app. Before we get started, I want to say hi to everyone in the chat. Umacorn's here, Gareth, we've got Andreas, Mercurial, Chris. Nice to see everybody. If you are watching over on YouTube, hop on over to Behance, be.net/live. That's where we'll be reading the chat. That's where we'll be answering your questions. So come on over, say hi, let us know where you're joining from, and if you're excited for the holidays. After the stream today, stay right here for the Adobe Illustrator Daily Creative Challenge with Julia Vaca to level up your Illustrator skills every weekday at 11:30 a.m. Pacific time. Our guest, Fergie, is a user experience designer, live streamer, mentor. Fergie does everything. So, Fergie, why don't you let us know a little bit about yourself and what you plan on working on today?
Sure, such kind words. Thank you so much. I am so overly excited to be here. Again, I can't quite believe my luck. So thank you, Adobe, for having me. So excited. And hi to everybody. I see you all in the chat. Hi. Behance family. It's great to see everybody. So for anybody who doesn't know me, hi, my name is Fergie, and I'm a UX designer here in London. I've been in the UX world for like 11 years now. So quite a long time. I work in mainly tech consulting. And just while I talk and sort of tell you about the things that I do, I'm going to play a little bit of video in the background so you can look at the things that I kind of do. So mostly what I focus on is UX design. So doing app design or web design, going into my clients' businesses and helping them to problem solve, helping them create whatever software solution it might be that they have for the problem that they're trying to solve, right? So that's kind of my day-to-day, living that consultant lifestyle. But I am somebody who's such an overachiever. That 9 to 5 is just not enough, as I'm sure most creatives can relate to. So I do quite a lot in the background as well. I do branding for small businesses, startups, entrepreneurs, friends and family, people that know me. Basically, they're starting a thing. My way of being able to support them is helping them digitally. And I also do mentoring. So I do mentoring sessions over on ADP List. And I'm also on Superpeer, where I offer portfolio reviews. And I have a special offer for everybody today, one time only until the end of January. So no stress, it's the holidays, let's not think about all of this. But if you want to book a portfolio review, you can go to superpeer.com/Fergie. And if you enter the code GIFTWRAP25, you can get a phenomenal 25% discount on having a one-to-one recorded portfolio review with me that typically lasts about an hour. And you get a recording back and everything. So you can go forth and be fabulous with what you need your portfolio for. So Oh, and how could I forget? I'm an Adobe XD ambassador. Oh, there we go. Long list.
Nice. Super cool that you are offering that to the people joining us today. Everybody is in love with your super slick presentation of your work. So Annika's hyped.
Ooh, hey, Annika. Yeah, so if you want to find me on socials, pretty much on every platform there is, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, of course, Behance, of course. So you can find me at fergie.design. On YouTube, my channel is Design with Fergie, where I'm posting up loads of tutorials about design and a lot more tutorials about XD.
Fergie, so you also have a subscription on Behance as well.
I do, yes. So let me flick on over here. So for the low bargain price of just $7 a month, folks, I am actually sharing my project files, my most popular project files that people are always asking me, how did I create this thing? How, can I share a tutorial? And I do tutorials, but people always want the file, right? Something nice about having that file and being able to use that as a starter for your own. So this is where I'm offering those project files. as well as access to a private Discord server for one-on-one chats with myself, along with many things in the future, such as a UX book that I'm starting to write.
Ooh.
So you'll get first preview.
Nice.
Yeah,
cool.
so hop on over here if you want to have a little look about at what that's about.
Very cool. So Chris is asking, what was the promo code for this peer mentoring? And it was
it is gift wrap 25. Yeah, so on screen, screenshot it, save it, bookmark it. It's on until the end of January, so plenty of time. Just because I like to give back. I think it's important. So
yeah, definitely. That's so nice.
Yeah. Alrighty, let's get into what we're going to do today. I think that's plenty enough about me. So as the title suggests, we are going to design a mobile app for gift wrapping. And this is just a vision that I have. It was just a cool, fun idea that I thought would be really nice for this festive season time of year. I'm going to take you all on that journey with me. So this is where we're at. So today being part one, we're going to plan the screens that we're going to need. We'll do some lo-fi wireframing and hopefully get into starting the designing. So adding more of a UI layer on top of our wireframes. And then tomorrow, be sure to come back for part two, because that's when everything gets exciting. We'll be finishing off the design. We'll add some Lottie animations, and we're going to prototype it all together. And let me just say, if you've seen anything I've put on socials, you would have had a sneak peek at the kind of thing we might get up to. So it really is, the prototyping is the piece you don't want to miss. And then if we have some time left over at the end, we'll also go over how you can share your project directly from XD to a Behance project. So yeah, lots.
There you go. Overview, solid plan.
Do you like a plan?
Got a couple more friends joining in the chat. Sarah, Chris. Yeah, welcome everybody. Like I said, let us know if you have any questions. We'll be happy to answer them in chat. And let us know your experience with gift wrapping. I told Fergie when she told me about this project that I am the worst at wrapping presents. So hopefully this app can help somebody like me out. But let me know in the chat, you guys, are you a team put it in a bag or team, fancy, over like origami style, gift wrapping? You go all out or do you just
fancy.
put it in a bag?
So fancy. So, I mean, the only thing I've kind of got mapped out in my mind is the sort of steps that we might take with this app. So the idea is you can create these kind of gift boxes with the color and pattern and everything that you want. It could be the right shape and size for the gift that you need to put inside. And then it's printed and created on, for imaginary business purposes, an eco-friendly kind of cardboard material that could be recycled with and things like that. Just we can go wild. We're creating an app that could fit into kind of any business, really.
I love that idea of the eco wrap choice.
Yeah, cool. And then it could be like flat pack kind of mail. You just kind of unfold it and it just all kind of fits together really cleverly, a bit like origami. Yeah, so we've got quite a few things here so far. But I'd love to hear people's ideas. So if you have ideas as we're going through, please throw them in the chat. I love hearing what you all have to say and contribute, because I think we could go down a really interesting path. But to get us started, I was thinking that we would start off with selecting what box do we want. So are we going to go with a square, a circle, a rectangle? Then we can apply a color to this box, and then apply a pattern on top of that. So we're kind of doing it in almost layers. So once we've got the box, we're going to kind of almost paint on that color, add on that pattern, and then maybe put a little bow on top. And we'll see if we have time to customize the color of that, but we might just do different types or different colors of bows or something. And yeah, then you've got your gift wrap.
Do you always start out with this sort of process, mapping it out in the kind of like a flow here, like a user flow?
I find it really useful to get the idea and the thoughts down. Because I can be, when I'm in this creative stage, especially when it's, like a fun project or a passion piece, it's not actually for a client, because I mean, yes, I'm that designer. I love doing things for fun. So putting it down like this just helps me track my thoughts. It helps me track where I'm at throughout the process. It's like, won't lose track of, oh no, I forgot about a particular screen or a certain idea. I like to try and note it down. Yeah, and if you want to do flowcharts too in XD, there is this awesome plugin. This has been my favorite for a number of years now, called Whiteboard. And they actually have these kind of preset and ready to go.
Yes.
You can just click on it and then make it your own.
I'm so glad you brought this up, because it is also my favorite plugin. I use this all the time.
Awesome.
It's so good. Yeah, absolutely. I recognized when you brought up the flowchart immediately. I'm like, oh yes, whiteboard. Very cool.
Awesome. So yeah, I'm just gonna start putting a few artboards down, naming them. Sorry, folks, I am team name your artboards, name your layers, name your things.
Me too.
Sorry, not sorry. And there will be typos, so
That's fine. As soon as you start typing live, it's just like automatically. It's just a thing that we all deal with.
Yeah. So I'm just going to put these down to kind of mirror the stages that I've already identified. So like select the box, choose color.
We've got several team fancy wrap. Hashtag team fancy wrap, Noelle says. Then we've got Sarah says, oh my god, I'm terrible at wrapping. Team put it in a bag for sure. So a mix. Corey says, I'm also a ribbon person. So another option.
Nice. I do love glitter. I love anything glittery and colorful, as you can tell. If you know me, I love my background. You can see I love colorful things. But the ribbon where you can like curl it with the edges of the scissors. Oh,
yes.
Obsessed.
I know what you're talking about. That trick that you do if you like put the ribbon right against the blade of the scissors and like slide it, it makes like a curl on the ribbon. You guys have ever done that? The sound is also really satisfying.
It is, isn't it? It's like one of those like ASMR kind of sounds. So I'm just going to try and work out a sort of layout that I want to get started with, really. So I'm going to choose a box. I'm just going to put a grid of maybe a few different options.
I like that you started out by making the different sort of screens that you thought you were gonna, kind of need. Again, getting back to that whole like flowchart and planning idea. Looks like you're using maybe an iPhone screen size.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is the iPhone 12 Pro Max. So we can utilize every last pixel for more pretty things. Usually I would start with a small screen and sort of work up in a more responsive manner, but since it's for fun, we'll go with the larger one.
Right.
Probably gonna want some kind of like image or icon up here.
Nice. These are just, you're starting off with like some wireframes to plan out what this is gonna look like, thinking about how the content's gonna lay out.
Yeah, super basic. Like I don't even know if I could call it a LoFi wireframe. It's almost a level below that. Yeah, not too sure.
Yeah, there's really like, I find for sure like stages of wireframe and low fidelity and high fidelity design. Like it all kind of is this process of building on itself as you're working.
Yeah.
Welcome, Joanne, Umacorn, all the friends. If you guys have any questions, be sure to ask. Happy to answer them.
We could do a cheeky repeat grid.
Yeah. Makes it so easy to set up like a multiple card kind of layout.
Yeah. I think this was the first first shortcut type thing in XD that I like really fell in love with. I was like, right, that's it. No other tool. This is the one. Yeah,
do you have any other do you have any favorite XD features?
So many.
Yeah.
So many. Other than repeat grid, I really, really love the 3D transform. I think that's a lot of fun, being able to kind of not really like duplicate that 3D space, but to kind of mimic the properties of it with that illusion, I think is really nice. So
you can do some really cool stuff with prototyping and that as well.
Exactly. I think just once you start to get into that space with things, you know, kind of coming in and out of perspective, and yeah, I think it's really fun. I think it's a great idea. Whoever came up with that was.
Mwendwa has a question. Do you ever use the 8-grid system in your designs? Do you work with a grid system?
Yes, I typically will just use columns. So for example, I'll use like the layout columns.
Yeah.
And this is kind of the next thing I'll do once I've gotten a rough idea of what I want to throw on a screen. I'll put these on to start aligning it a bit more, making it a bit more of a still lo-fi, but kind of more detailed wireframe. I'll try and stick to these sorts of columns, but using like an 8-pixel grid. I just prefer to look at the columns because looking at this just makes me go a bit dizzy, frankly. So yeah, I quite like this view with the grid. Really easy to do. Again, another great feature. I mean, there's so many. Could do a whole live stream just talking about features and plugins and
absolutely
all those things.
So once again, if you're joining us over on YouTube, be sure to hop on over to Behance. That's where we're responding to the chat. Come on over and say hi. be.net/live. Wade is here. Hey Wade, how's it going? Welcome. So what was your inspiration for this app idea?
Funnily enough, it was a project that I had created earlier in the year. I could probably quickly nip over and show everybody. It was a cupcake building app that again was just this kind of crazy idea I had.
Cute.
I was like, oh, wouldn't this be cool to like just order a custom kind of cupcake, like choose your base, choose your frosting, choose your topping,
I'm all
add
about
sprinkles. And I actually challenged myself to do it on just one artboard.
Oh, that's cool. That's like a cool little mini challenge inside of a challenge. Very cool.
So you can just kind of scroll through all your little options here. Yeah, and then my favorite bit is the little sprinkles.
That's so cute. Yes.
Yeah, but that was really fun. That was with just with using components, you know, so it's kind of 4 components on the screen.
Yeah.
That's it really.
Nested components.
Yeah, that's where it came from. I was like, oh, wouldn't it be cool if I did something like that again for gift wrap? But we're not doing it on one artboard because I decided that would be way too complicated. Way too many things going on for that. So we'll simplify life a little bit. Maybe we'll have our box kind of up here. Some sort of title.
So after today's stream today, stay tuned for the Illustrator Daily Creative Challenge. That's at 11:30 a.m. Pacific time every weekday. Before our stream is the Photoshop Daily Creative Challenge with Kathleen Martin at 9 a.m. Pacific time. So guessing a bunch of you probably hopped on over from that stream via the magic of Adobe Live.
What is your favorite type of stream to watch, Jack?
Oh, my favorite type of stream? I don't know that it's like a specific app necessarily. I really like just seeing people's process, seeing how they work. especially when it starts from sort of how you started here today, which is your idea and kind of a blank canvas. I love seeing where people start in their process, like where you kind of begin. This part here, right here, for me, the like early stages of the wireframes, the early sketches, things like that. I just find them to be so interesting because everybody has a different way of working and a different way of kind of starting, and it takes it's a pretty brave thing, right, to start with a blank canvas. It's a little bit scary, but I think there's like, it's so valuable to see that kind of process from the beginning. So yeah. That's my answer. What are your favorite kinds of streams?
I like similar ones. I like to watch other designers design. I think it's really inspiring how everybody thinks really quite differently about different challenges. And I quite like watching sometimes the daily creative challenges, especially the XD ones, of course. And like looking at what was the brief, and then when they kind of do the little showcase at the end of going through Discord, or even just going through the Discord myself and looking at what everybody's done, I'm just like, oh, that's really cool. And oh yeah, they've thought of it in a completely different kind of perspective.
I love that. I love that, how like every single person has like a different, they're, maybe showing off a tool, but people use it in like so many different ways. It's crazy. The stuff that people come up with and the way that people interpret the challenges are just really cool. Always blows my mind.
I haven't done one for a long time. I feel like I need to get into a Christmassy one over the break from work.
Yeah, I feel you on that. I want to, I've been really loving the Photoshop ones this time around with the Kathleen's like little designs each day are so cute. Every day I'm like, oh, that one's so cute.
Cool. Just gonna add a screen at the end that I thought of where we could prototype with auto animate all of the things maybe coming together, spinning around. Yes. I don't know, something. We'll see.
Love auto animate. It makes it like brings the design to life when you can see, the motion prototype of it.
Yeah. No, it really does. All right, I might cheat just a tad because I have a box.
No such thing.
Up here. This is a box I made earlier. I will show everybody how I drew the box because I'll probably need to draw some more. But for the sake of simplicity, I'll probably use the square box for like the most of the journey. Because we've only got so much time, sadly. This was one of my streams. I'd be just going on, just like a whole day, just like just go along, just go about it. So we could make maybe a shorter box that's a bit longer. Can I stretch this?
Oh, I think you can if you turn off responsive resize.
Ooh, good spot.
Yep, there you go.
There we go. Just get it looking a little bit more shoebox-like.
Nice.
Don't know how I'm doing a circular one yet, so let's give it a go. Let me show you all how I drew these boxes. So you can see my layers panel here. I have used mostly the pen tool and just created a path because of how I kind of want this to go later, where we're like adding the color and adding the pattern and things like that. This was the easiest way that I could think of. I mean, you could probably add images, if you have some stock images. I'm sure there's plenty of those on Adobe Stock, our favorite stock provider, where you can get these pre-made and ready to go. Probably some Illustrator ones as well, not just images that you could drop in, which would be really cool because we can put SVGs into XD and then edit away to our heart's content. Yeah. But I've just drawn like little paths for each kind of shape. So I have my lid here in one group. So you can see I've got a lid, which is pretty much just the 4 sides with the top. So if I turn the top off, there is 0% opacity. That's why you can't see it. There's like this that's kind of meant to be, this has moved. This is kind of meant to be like showing that inside bit of the box. I probably turned it off because it wasn't really doing what I needed to do. So I can probably get rid of those now. But I've just drawn a really simple path. You can see it's just, if you imagine having like a perspective grid, like how you can turn those on in Illustrator. You can probably even draw it in Illustrator to use the grid first. And I've just done the typical ... kind of, like how you would with pen and paper, to draw the two sides of the lid, and then closed it off with just adding that kind of top surface. Trying to think a bit more three-dimensionally. And then I did a similar thing for our box here, in that we've got the left side here. I don't quite know why I've got these all duplicated. Oh, that's with the box down there. Huh, that would be one. So I've got left side, a right side, and then kind of the inside of the box, just to give it again that 3D kind of perspective. And I've put them as different tones, and this is for what we're doing, an important part, because then we can just use a path shape and fill it with a color, and it could still take the kind of shades by putting it on top of this, with like using opacity and the different sort of layer filters later on when we get into that. So that's the only test and experiment I've done for this, folks. Like literally, I just drew the box. So I'm hoping everything works smoothly.
Nice. Thanks for walking us through your process there. You could, definitely use the pen tool and the shape tools in XD to put together these, illustrations. You could, like you said, you could do it in Illustrator, but you could also do it in here.
Yep. So we're gonna attempt to do a circular box. Let's see, and then we can add it as one of our options. So we want to get to about the middle.
Annika's saying, can I just say this is the only satisfying stretch I've seen, when you were stretching the box to size it.
I thought she meant like actually taking a stretch. I was like, I didn't stretch it, did I?
Maybe, or
one
that.
of those helpful reminders.
Yeah, everybody be sure to stretch, drink water, save, all those things.
All the good things.
Normally Annika would be reminding us to save.
Yes.
But you've got a Cloud Doc, so don't have to worry about that as much.
I do have a Cloud Doc. There's so many things I could say. Oh, I love that about XD. Just for the record, I just love XD. We'll just say it, okay? It's obvious. So just get that out of the way. Now we all know. But yeah, I can't say how many times a Cloud document autosave has honestly saved my life when working for a client, and laptops decide to stop working, or you're just something goes wrong, as it does all the time when you work in tech.
Oh yeah, for sure. Cody saying, PSA, sip, flip, stretch, and save. Sip water, flip your canvas, stretch your wrists, and save your work. Nice.
Ooh, flip the
Love
canvas.
that.
That's a new one on me. That's so cool. Oops, nope.
Hey, Erwin, welcome. Cody says, although I don't know if we really flip canvases in XD. Yeah, that's more of like a illustration kind of a thing, but
yeah. I mean, we can flip. We have
we can.
We have the flip tool.
Mm-hmm.
We have everything. We have everything. We have it all, folks.
And to say we can if we want to.
Yeah. I'd love to know for everyone in chat, like, what is their favorite feature in XD?
Oh, good question. Yes.
Tell us. Oh, this is not going too badly so far. Okay. Okay, XD, I see you. And if I use the lid, and then let's be smart about this. Draw a rectangle and then merge these together. That should give us
Oh yeah, look at that.
The body.
I see it.
So what is this one?
Nice.
Add. Dun dun dun.
Yeah, XD has, if you didn't know, these like Boolean operations for shapes, similar to like the Pathfinder and Illustrator, where you can merge shapes together. So, Anika's favorite is the repeat grid.
Yes.
Lots
Do
of
love a repeat grid.
Love for the repeat grid.
Nice. What I might do is just split this actually in half so that we can give it a bit of shading on one side. Now these are the extras that, you know, you can always do in advance, but I thought I'd just share how I get it done in XD.
Melendwa is saying components for me. Components are their favorite.
Yes.
Yeah, that's another good one.
So many.
Cody's saying, I've never used XD, but I really enjoy streams of it. I'm a big appreciator of UI, UX. Very cool.
Nice. That's the one. So, just do the opposite way.
I think
like
I would have a hard time picking a favorite. I really like, just in general, the prototyping. Obviously, I find that to be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I also am a big fan of the, I guess maybe one I haven't heard mentioned yet, the like stacks and padding feature. I really like that feature as well for like spacing things out.
That is such a good one.
Mm-hmm. Chris is saying prototyping. Fast and easy prototyping.
Yeah. Yeah. Gotta give it to it. It does make it super fast. I don't think I want to do another shape. So let's go.
You put together those shapes, the circle box really quickly.
I think it looks okay. It's probably not the best, I'm sure. I'm sure I could learn how to do that better from some of our Illustrator friends in the chat. But for now, for what we need, I think it's okay. So let's have a think. Do we want to do them 3? Do we want to do it as a swipe? Oh, mentioning components, we could do a little swipe to choose your
that would be
gift
fun.
box. Let's do that. Okay, so we don't need a repeat grid like that way. We need it this way. And we need to make it bigger. So I love that we can just nudge these things once and everything moves.
Excellence said, I saw Fergie was streaming and I thought I should make a quick drop by.
Oh, Excellence. Thanks for stopping by. Good to see you.
Anna Marie is saying, I'm learning how to use XD. I came to the right place. Welcome.
Awesome.
Let us know if you have any questions.
Yeah. Okay.
Chris is saying we need to make a box plugin.
Now that's an idea. How would I do that? So let's take off the outline. Let's give it. I don't quite know what color these will be just yet, but that's okay. And then we can add in our shapes. So let's go to the libraries. So I'll open up my libraries panel and I have a library I've already started with a couple of things. And let's add this as a graphic, because I think we could then drag and drop it just like that.
Magic. The magic of repeat grids.
Oh, I did do something a little bit straight. Oh, that's my path. Okay, I see what I did wrong. I need to cut that bit off. Okay, well, we're not here for that. That's not what the stream is for. It's okay. I forgive myself. Let's delete that so I don't make that mistake later. And for now, I'll ungroup this repeat grid and we'll just place our boxes inside here. So we have this kind of tall cylindrical one. We've got the OG cube one.
Annika's saying I can make the die lines for that plugin.
We're in business.
On it. Yeah. You did a collaborative stream recently with Annika on Behance, correct?
Yes, yeah. We came up with this idea to work on the same project, but with our own from our own disciplines. So Annika is creating the brand, and I'll create the mobile app to go with it. So yeah, we kind of started off. We were sharing all of our how we do our research and mood boarding and inspo and all of that good stuff.
That was a cool stream. If you guys go and check out, was it on yours or Annika's profile?
It was on mine, yeah.
Okay, yeah. If you go to Fergie's Behance, you can check out the replay there. And yeah, if you guys didn't know, Fergie is a streamer on Behance. There's a lot of streamers on Behance. A couple of them are hanging out in the chat. So when Adobe Live is not live, be sure to check out all the awesome streamers.
So many awesome people. Let's call it a shoebox.
Annika's saying, yeah, we gotta develop that more, Fergie.
Yes, we do. We need another weekend to come back at it. It has a long way to go. It's going to be a few streams. It's going to be a multi one. Okay. This is looking like something. That's exciting. I don't know what yet, but something. We're kind of getting there. I don't know if I want to put an outline on this one, maybe just for a little bit of extra definition or something.
What do you think, chat? Outline or no outline? Let us know.
Yes, you decide for me. That would be great. I can never make these decisions. I feel like this gave itself a border. We don't want that. That's kind of weird. All good. So we have, oops, my mouse is getting carried away. We have our three options here. So if we want to create them to be a kind of slider, then we need to put them in a mask. So let me go back to my layers panel and just think about what kind of space we want that to take up. We want it to peak maybe a little bit over the others to give the users indication there's more options. And then if I select everything, group them, mask them, dun dun,
ta-da!
It will eventually become a slider. More on the intricacies of that probably tomorrow.
Yeah, so that's kind of an important little detail there that Fergie just did with the little, making sure you've got a hint on the side that you want the user to swipe so that they know that there's more to see. Good way to clue users into that interaction.
Yeah, always got to let them know. And if it's hidden, if this was, imagine this is kind of more like this, you'd think there's only one box option, which is it's not as fun. It's not as interesting. Sometimes you'll see apps will do a little bounce or a little peak when you first open a screen to give you a hint that something's there. There's an interaction, but it's not an obvious interaction, which is quite popular, but not great for everybody. If you're not a user that is familiar with the different swipe gestures and things like that, then you'd probably miss it. So it's yeah, I think it's just good to be obvious with these things. we'll have whatever box we use. So let's go get our cube. Let's copy it from here. Should have grouped this all together actually.
So it looks like you're moving on to the pick a color screen next.
Yeah, I'm gonna do the pick a color. But first I'm just gonna go back, and I get quite obsessive about what are my layers, so I won't know what any of these are. Like right now I don't know which rectangle 2999 is, so I'm just going to do a little bit of housekeeping.
I love it.
And tidy things up just a tad.
Going through and cleaning things up from the beginning really helps you down the line when you have, you know, this object or group copied or on multiple screens and you're trying to animate between them, and staying organized a little bit at the beginning pays off the farther down you get in your design. So
I like to think so. Especially if you're going to use auto animate, because if you start naming things differently, or you've pasted a rectangle and XD's given it like an extra increment of the numbers, and then your auto animation is not going to work, you can drive yourself crazy for hours not understanding why it doesn't work. And you're like, oh my gosh, it's called rectangle 43592 instead of 43591.
Yep, I've done that so many times.
Yeah.
Like, I should have just gone back and fixed it.
I just think it's a good habit to get in, especially if you work as part of a team.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You know, I wouldn't dare give anyone in my team an unnamed document, and they wouldn't dare do that to me either. It's just, you know, out of respect, because it's hard enough picking up somebody else's file where they might have grouped it and kind of done something, but you have to go in and like learn the document almost before you can really do any work, which I always find a bit
do you work with the co-editing features at all, like sharing them? Yeah,
quite a lot, which I really enjoy seeing. You know, if I'm like, oh, I'm really stuck on what I'm doing, or I just want to take a break, I'll go and do the whole, you know, locate them on the document, and it zooms into where my colleague is, and I can just sit and watch them, have a little sip of my coffee. And a fun thing that we all quite like to do is writing each other little notes just on the pasteboard, like, hey, you good? You okay? Or like, I don't like this green, or just, you know, something really silly to
we
just
have
joke around with each other.
Where I work, we have a whole color coding system for like notes. Like, oh, the you know, the yellow ones are for like you know, internal designer notes. The red ones are questions. The green, like, we have this whole system. It's
amazing. Oh, I like the sound of this team already.
Yeah.
Okay, so all of that is named. We then have our backgrounds. I'm just going to call this card.
Erwin is asking, do you use a reference? I think maybe in relation to the boxes that you were drawing.
No, honestly, that has just come out of my head. So they could be completely off. They could be squiff, like this kind of tube cylindrical one. I know it probably doesn't look how it should, but because it's my project, I get to decide that. So no, I guess it comes from how you draw on paper. Like you draw that, and then you draw the lines down, and then you draw the base of the box. That was how I kind of pictured the cube one, and then just made the lid stick out so that it would kind of like go over the top. Oh, that's what's wrong with this cylindrical one. Thanks for that comment. I never would have realized this otherwise. Oops. Let's just ungroup that for a second so I can get in here. Lid.
Making adjustments.
And look how easy it was for me to find my layers just then, folks. So easy.
Because you named them.
I did indeed. Just gonna stretch this out a little bit so it looks like a lid.
There we
I think
go.
that will be better. No, it looks like it's an actual container. This is a little squiff. It's okay. I can always tidy that up later. Let me zoom back out. Oops.
Because we're kind of working, because the way that Fergie is working, it makes it really easy to go back if you needed to and replace that, you know, image inside of the eventual component, right? Since you can go through the, you know, the layers and find your named element.
Yeah, exactly. And I always think of times when working in part of a team, you know, if I was doing this for a client and I went on holiday or I was off sick or something and somebody needs to pick it up whilst I'm not around, then it's just much easier for them and they won't complain about me having not been around to do it myself. So it's just another little plus, that kind of thing.
Also saying, oh, a gift wrapping concept, and giving us a little heart eye emoji. So loving it. Loving the idea.
Amazing. Oh, Elsa was on last week. I loved what she created. It's like a video app.
I think I did catch some of that. I watch so much. Honestly, I watch so many live streams. It's hard to keep them all straight.
It's quite addictive, actually.
People have said before that it's kind of like, and I agree with the statement that it's kind of like working with other people in the background while you're working. Kind of creates that environment. So.
No, definitely. We could. This is a really silly idea. So chat.
That was the idea sound. I could tell.
That was. You can see there's like 2,000 cogs turning in this head at the moment. I was thinking, how can I make picking a color interesting?
Yeah.
And I was thinking, oh, do I need to change the shape or do I was like paint splat? We don't want to do that. What if, chat? What if we made our color swatches little baubles?
Nice.
Like the little tree decoration.
Yes.
So excited.
That's so cute. Let us know what you think of that idea, chat. For sure. I think it's cute.
Getting overly festive now. I should have worn a Christmas jumper.
Yes.
I'll have to bring one out tomorrow.
I have my Adobe Live sweatshirt on. I don't know if you can see it.
Oh, nice.
Wade borrowed it earlier for his stream over the weekend. Right, Wade? And then you shipped it back. I don't know if Wade's still here, but.
So how do you spend the festive holidays, Jack? Do you stay in the US? Do you travel?
Yeah, normally my family's all here in different states. So last year we didn't travel, obviously, but this year I think we're planning on going to see my family over the holidays, a couple states over. So
nice.
Should be fun. Looking forward to having some time off, going to see my family. What about you? What are you planning on doing?
I am planning the most time off I think I've had this year.
Yeah.
This is officially my last working work. We all know there's going to be some Christmas hustle.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Those last minute clients. I'm thinking that I'll just relax, but no, I just stay in London, which is actually really nice because it gets really quiet and empty.
That sounds
a lot
nice.
of people like leave to go home.
Yeah. Oh no.
Let's see what I did there. We have to put it in a thing first. There we go. So this is my nice little reminder. You know,
that's cute. Yeah, I like how you're using the photo there to remind you of your idea. I love that. It's kind of like a little mini mood board.
Yeah. And I was just thinking, actually, this white one, we could do.
I love the lighting on that. So pretty.
It's quite something.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking we could even do, maybe not today, maybe tomorrow. I need to get some screens done first, get the base of it down. This is, get very like, chase an idea, and then I come back and I'm like, I'm only halfway done. but we could do some edit in Photoshop tomorrow, and we could
Yes.
use the picture of the bauble to make our color swatches, if chat thinks it's a good idea. What did they vote for? I didn't see.
Annika loves the bubble idea. Bubble. Oh my gosh. I can't pronounce that word.
It's okay.
Bobble. Bobble? Bobble? This is just
Close
me
enough.
in pronouncing the word.
No, I've heard other people similarly be like, what? Tongue twister.
They've been saying it all week on the Adobe Live UK streams, and I've been like, I don't know how to pronounce that word. I can't do it.
It's probably like a regional accent thing as well. I say regional, international, global.
International, yeah. I think so.
I'm sure all over the UK we all say it very differently as well. So yeah. I wonder what I could do for
Umacorn saying in Dutch we just call them Christmas balls. Literal translation. Here we go.
There we go. Christmas balls, decoration balls.
I think we just call them ornaments. Ornaments. Like
yes, there you go.
yeah.
There we go. We've worked it out, chat. We're just going to call them ornaments.
Oh. Annika's saying, yeah, reminds me of Sean trying to say it. Yeah, I felt like Sean there for a minute.
Yeah. Oh, and it's so hard to think of how would you like phonetically break it down to type it as well to try and help. It's like none of this is helping. Oh, what could we do on swatches? Maybe that is a plain something, because we're going to put some little patterny icons in there from our amazing pattern here. So we're going to have some nutcrackers, some rocking horses, these little drums, and sorry, not sorry, it's going to be a very Fergie color palette. It's not going to be very traditionally Christmas. But you can make yours any colors you want if you're following along.
I like it. Bring on the like hot pink and turquoise for Christmas.
Nice. Where's
gives it character?
Yeah, I think so.
Makes
I mean, I do
it
like
fun.
some of the traditional ones as well, like patterns and things. I think they're really cute. Like the now I'm going to trip over a word. Fair those kind of patterns that you get like typically on sweaters and paper. It's almost like that repeating pattern in like rows. It's like a rows of snowflake, a rows of
yes,
reindeer,
I know
like that.
About. Yeah,
that I think it's called Fair Isle. I don't know. I'm sure somebody in the chat will correct me, and it will be fine.
Chat, help us.
What's it called? I was just trying to see if there's a plugin for Adobe Stock, which would be really useful, actually.
Yeah, I'm not sure if there's one for.
Yeah.
Can you just do it from the library, maybe?
Yeah, I'm wondering. Because I know this will search my things. Search Adobe Stock. Ooh.
Yeah, there you go.
Ta-da! Amazing suggestion.
Yeah. So you can just search an Adobe Stock right in the library.
Folks, look, there were boxes here for us all along. Oh.
Yeah, but then we wouldn't have been able to go on that adventure of making them. Now everybody knows how to make boxes in XD.
This is very true. Oh, this feels pretty. Is this? I don't know if this is free or paid for.
Umacorn says it's just called the ugly sweater pattern, like Christmas sweater.
They're not all ugly though.
This is true, yes.
Oh. Just going to get a couple of these that we can throw onto our box.
Some bows.
Yeah, some little decoration-y things. Perspective of that one's not quite right. Okay, let's get. Maybe we could use this goldy one, the red one, and then I've got the pink one I made already. So we'll get one more. Dun, dun, dun. I love how this is here. How have I never done this before? Clearly. Didn't even think about that.
Yeah, it's super handy. And it just adds them right to your
Let's get that
library that you've already got set up.
Yeah. So I just have a little library here for the folks watching. Let me try and make it so those squares are a bit bigger. I have my delicious pink color that I'm completely obsessed with, far too much for my own good. And a few little illustrations of things from a Adobe stock Illustrator file, like pattern design, that was all together, like you saw on the nice intro slide. So I've used a few of those elements to create a couple of patterns already, and I've just also added them in as individual things so we could use them again in kind of this screen here where we're going to add the pattern. So rather than trying to show like what a repeat pattern might look like in a tiny little swatch like that, we can just, for example, take the nutcracker, drop him into our grid, and then
Nice.
all of these would be our little swatches. We could say, oh, I want the nutcracker pattern. What does that look like? And then it would apply to the box. And we can kind of click through and just see what we like best, really. So that's kind of, this is the plan for here. So let me first ungroup that because I want them to all be different. Let's put each of our, actually we need one that says none. Each of our nutcracker fellas.
Chris is saying there's a plugin called Free Stock Search for XD. So if you didn't want to use the library search here, you could install that plugin potentially.
Yeah, I love how just the sheer amount of plugins is it's yeah, it kind of, they just go on and on and on and on. They just kind of never
Yeah,
end.
it's crazy.
And there's a plugin for everything and anything you could think of.
Right.
One of my favorites is actually let me bring up the panel. There's one called Confetti.
Yep, that one's fun.
It is so much fun.
First of all, the name, yeah. But also it's just fun to play with.
And it just literally gives you confetti. I think everyone should go and have a little play with that. This is how I made my sprinkles with my cupcake. So I just made like one sprinkle shape, and then it just made loads for me with all the different colors. And then all I had to do was just position them nicely, which was the easiest part of the whole thing. So we also need these to have a border. So let's think. No, okay, because it's a mask. So just gonna copy paste these around.
Chris is saying Elise uses the plugin in her XD Daily Crave Challenge. So
oh, cool. It is a really fun plugin. So many of them. I think that shade of grey is okay for now. So I just want to give the little pattern swatches here a little bounding so they're not just kind of floating. So I've kind of gotten into some details in some places already, but it's okay. The process is not necessarily always as linear
yep,
as it is on paper, like following the double diamond and things like that. I love the double diamond process.
Yeah, I feel like I know there's an image out there that I've seen where there's like start and end, and in between it's just chaos, and that's how it feels sometimes. Like you have the best intentions, but sometimes you meander a bit.
Definitely.
Journey.
Okay, this is nutcracker 1. So we've got drum.
But there might be specific situations where you might want to include a graphic if you were testing something out, like how does this work, this functionality, and you might need to see it. So
yeah, definitely.
Everybody loves these graphics. They love the colors. They're just so cute.
It is. Yeah, Adobe stock. Go get it. It was the second you'll see it. I think I searched for like Christmas pattern or something, and it's like I've resized it here, but see it's got all these cool little nutcracker guys, the rocking horses, and I just love it so much. I think it's my Pantone has colors of the year. I think this is my pattern of the season.
Nice.
Alrighty, what else? How are we doing?
Caroline is here. Welcome, Caroline. For those of you that are just joining us, we are about halfway through. I'm here with Fergie. Fergie's working on a gift wrapping app. I'm just starting to lay out all of the screens and elements that we're going to need. So be sure to ask any questions in the chat and let us know what you think so far.
Yeah, love feedback. I think feedback is such an important part of the design process, and I am not precious at all about anything that I make, which I think is always quite an important trait to have as a designer. So it's really easy to take feedback personally rather than as, constructive.
I had a coworker years ago now who once said to, at the time, one of my bosses, "You are not the client," which is, I think, important to remind yourself as a designer that you're not designing it for you. You know, it's always keep your users in mind.
I think my UX version of that is the number of times you sort of have to sit back and tell clients, yeah, but you're not the user, so we need to go and do this research, or we need to do this thing or this survey or whatever it might be. And it's always, I'm like, are we still having this conversation? Are we still having to say that? And it is sadly still a battle that that we have to fight in the UX world. But it's it's not just about making, well, actually being a UX designer is not really about making pretty things at all. It's about making things that work for real people. So I like to make sure everybody knows that, we're not designing for our clients, we're designing for the actual users who are the ones who make everybody else money and keep us employed. So sometimes you just got to say how it is.
Yeah.
And I'm a bit too good at doing that, I think. Very, little sugar coating over here. Actually, no, let's keep the bows big.
Umacorn saying, quoted you there, "Pantone has a color of the year. This is my pattern of the season."
I honestly, if you even knew how obsessed I am with this, I'm already thinking like, what could I print with this? Can I print my own wrapping paper with this? I've only got an A4 printer. Would that work? Maybe I'll make my own boxes. Yeah, all the tape.
You got to get one of those Cricut machines.
I've been seeing those all over social media. I'm just like, what is this? Fascinating. It lets you
print all kinds of, it does like print and cut for you. And
wow.
It's you like print on different materials. They're so cool.
Oh wow, that is something else.
Elsa loves the keystroke detector. What is it? Asking what your
for my buttons is. Yeah. This is Keystroke Pro.
There you go.
And you can customize it to be so on brand. I'm sure you all noticed that already. I mean, you'll recognize me everywhere now for seeing all this pink. You'll be like, Fergie's been here. It's pink everywhere.
I did notice. Yeah, I did notice the color of it for sure.
Yeah. All right. Let me think. That's where we're going to do the animation at the end. So what I'm thinking is I could kind of break things up and put it in place because we want it.
Gareth is saying, "Shh, I got a Cricut maker for my wife for Christmas." Well, now you have an app. You can figure out how to wrap it.
That would be pretty. That is such a cool gift. Wow, I'm impressed. And there we want these.
I have a question for the chat. Speaking of, what is the strangest gift you've ever had to wrap? Like the most awkward thing, like a bicycle.
Wow. Where would you even start?
Yeah.
Here we go.
That's another experience to think about, is like how to wrap something that's
Most odd shape.
Yeah.
It was so awkward. Like that. Okay, I'm totally like jumping ahead. I was meant to do this tomorrow, but you've all just seen how I've split the box apart and put it back together. I just want to make sure it's going to work. So we'll auto animate.
Oh boy, prototyping coming in.
Just for this bit. We'll see all the layers of it tomorrow. But I just want to make sure it will do what we want it to do. So if I tap, we get our box. Boop.
Nice.
Put a lid on it. And
That's
then
so cute.
we could do bows or something tomorrow.
All that work to set up those shapes, and look at that. Now we have a box that closes.
It pays off. It pays off. If I used an image, I couldn't have done that. So
Right.
Talk about going the extra mile. All right, let's.
Anna says a basketball. That would be difficult.
That would go in a box.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I would put that in a square box. For sure. Let's go back into design mode.
Caroline also has a really good question here. So once you have your page design, let's say you want it to be developed as an app, do you create your component style guide in XD and deliver to the developer?
Yes. Yeah. So I will create a design library or style guide in XD. I just find it really easy to use that way, because then you can kind of use that as your master document. So whilst you're creating your app, if you create other new screens later on, or you have multiple people using it, then you can have that to just like copy paste in your button. And then if you make an update to that later on, because it's all really clever and you can have all these like linked components and linked documents, and if you really wanted, you could put that all into a library and then share that library, and the library works across all of the Creative Suite. When you make an update, it would sort of automatically update and sync everything else for you as well. And let me tell you, the time that saves is a blessing, because imagine your primary call to action button has suddenly gone from being, I don't know, red to green for some reason. The brand has changed. Imagine you have to go through the app and make all of these little updates manually. It takes a really, really long time. So I love using any kind of library, honestly. And the fact that we can do these in XD, either as a document and link it, or create it as a library, I just think it's super useful.
Yeah, so we're kind of talking about a couple different things there. So Fergie saying you could make, if you made a component, you could change the color in that component and it would kind of update across your whole XD document. And you can also make a library, which lets you kind of store those swatches and character styles, and it also lets you store components. And you can, like if you place a component from a library, it'll actually put like a linked component in there. And you can go into the original document that it was made in and make the edit there. So you can kind of link XD documents that way as well. But yeah, there's an export for developer view, and you can specify which assets you want to export with the export link.
Yeah, and that's excuse me, that's really nice, because it takes that work off of your plate as well. So you're not having to export every element that you might need,
right?
And then put that onto a cloud storage or email it over or whatever it is you might do. The dev teams can and developers can just do it themselves. They do it as and when they need. They put it where they want it to be. yeah, it's not like less hassle. It's quite nice.
Yep.
We have a cute little bauble.
So cute.
What I might do is simplify this just a little bit. Let's do the loop as a actual circle.
Smart.
Yeah, I was like, why did I do that? That was not the best. That was not optimum. That's what the process is like sometimes, folks.
Yep. I've been
You do something and then you're like, wait, what? Why did I do that?
And then you're going to use this as the little color picker?
Yeah. You're going to be kind of cute. Hopefully. We'll see. Give this like a little goldy color or something.
Nice.
And then do the same for the fill. And then, whoops, what we'll do is we'll turn off the border of this one. Group those, bring it to the front. Group that together. And we got a bubble, an ornament, sorry, an ornament. Let's keep it inclusive language.
It's just because I can't pronounce it.
No, it's not just you. I'm sure it's not an easy thing. I mean, I don't think I could spell it, but I can pronounce it. I think that's a whole different thing. We have a pretty pink bubble.
I knew you were going to make it pink. I just had a feeling.
Whatever gave it away? Am I that transparent? Oh no. Yeah, I think doing them like that would be kind of cute. Maybe put it like at a little
I love
angle.
that. Oh yeah, that's so cute. So fun.
I feel so clever right now. All right, let's make this a graphic, and then I can just edit it each time.
Caroline is asking another question. Why are you designing this in XD rather than in Illustrator?
Why XD rather than Illustrator? So, I mean, I am just really, really comfortable in XD. So, and I'm not a pro at Illustrator. So for me, this is really familiar, really comfortable. And it's not, an intimidating tool with 1,000 functions. I know I've done a lot of drawing, funnily. It's not normally how my things go. Because normally you're creating an app that, you're pulling the content in from somewhere else, like image, text, icons. This is a little bit, outside the regular box. Here all evening. Oh no, I'm not really. I'm here for like a little bit longer, folks. You won't have any more bad jokes.
No, keep it coming. I love it.
So because we're doing interface design, that is where XD kind of has its powers. So you can do all of these, whether it's, drawing these little things, creating these page layouts, if it's web page, screen layouts, if it's an app, the power then comes into being able to prototype. So you saw how we just connected these 3 artboards here. When we go into that preview mode and I can start interacting, so I can click on this space, I could drag, I could use keyboard commands for things if we've set that up. None of this you can do in Illustrator or any other application. So this really is, for me, like the power and the selling point. But one of many, because we've been saying about all the things that we love about XD. There's so many shortcuts. I don't know what it's called in Illustrator, but Repeat Grid is also in Illustrator as well. But it was in XD first.
Yes.
It was in XD first. Let's just set that record straight.
Yes. It's called grid repeat in Illustrator, and it always throws me off. Like, why did you reverse the words? Oh.
Yeah, you'd think they'd keep it the same just for consistency. That's quite interesting. I hadn't realized that. Okay. Got ornaments. Yeah, I mean, just the power of it. So the fact that I could create these, what's my screen doing? I could do some illustrations in Illustrator and then bring the SVGs into here, or from Illustrator add those assets into my library here. You could definitely do that. I mean, these Nutcracker and Christmas illustrations originally came from an Illustrator document. But yeah, just for doing any sort of interaction design, user experience design, XD is sort of the go-to tool, really, because it's not necessarily about illustration. This is just a bit of a one-off for me, at least.
Yeah, Carolyn saying, I meant the ornament, not so much the page. But yeah, I mean, just
comfort.
Because you're already in the program rather than opening another program and you already kind of know the tools are there. There's really no need to switch over.
And I'm not doing anything intricate. I mean, this is it's a circle, another circle, and a jaggedy path. I mean, yeah, so that's not very neat and tidy, is it at all? We can sort that out later. Yeah, I didn't think there was a need to start of boot up Illustrator just for this, to be honest. Let me get a nice.
These colors are so good. Love that.
I really love using bright colors, I have to say. I am quite guilty of that. It's like chartreuse almost. What are your favorite colors to work with, Jack? Do you have favorite colors to when you're like working on a piece, or colors you color palette that you kind of typically fall into using?
I don't know. I say that I try not to use the same colors over and over again. I do tend to work more with bright colors. Personally,
nice.
I like bright saturated colors. Like I've mentioned before, I'm doing like illustration work, how I like to use like a color versus like black for my shading. That's kind of like a illustration thing. But yeah, I like using bright colors. I try to like vary it. One good place to go if you are looking for color inspiration is color.adobe.com. I sometimes go on there and just kind of like peruse the explore tab to try and get away from my typical color palettes. So
nice. I'm a big fan of color.adobe. I used to use it back when it was Cooler, Kuler, that one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it's so fun. Oh, and I've also just thought we could have done them as like little Christmas lights as well.
Oh yeah, we could have done that too.
I think baubles are good. I'm not going to redo it. We've done it now. We're here. So yeah, I'm trying to like do things in an order, but you can see it's not always so 1, 2, 3. It's just kind of whichever bit I feel like working on.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'll do first. I think come here. Let's put. This is looking very wireframey, this page still. So maybe we'll put in pink. Wow. Hope nobody was attached to their eyes. I think hope everyone's okay with the brightness here. Yeah, I'm gonna work out what to do with this background as well. Maybe we could do some kind of soft gradient or something. Let's put that to the back. I feel like the screen background is always that thing that it's like, what to do.
Yeah, it's also just like, you gotta be careful about like color contrast with the background. It's a balance for sure.
I don't think I like this at all. So I might just keep it clean, and we can add in more color with the buttons. Maybe bring in the drum, because what we could do is, because this is an SVG, we can click into all of the different shapes here, and you can see I've already added the pink, but we could also add these colors to the library, so I'm not having to use the eyedropper tool every time. Even for the black, because this is not a black, is it? No. think that's also another thing I've started doing more this year than I was doing before. Instead of using like the black that is all the zeros, just kind of pulling it off slightly, just to give it a bit more tone, because it's quite good. I think we're going to go with a rounded button here.
Yeah, it can also bring your like it closer to like your color palette that way. You can like bring the black in to be more of like a value of, you know, your existing color palette. I like how you've got on your screens here so far this sort of like pattern, like component patterns, kind of like you've got like you're reusing the same kind of like experience on the pattern and the color screens.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and keep it almost like keeping it cohesive still. Just
right.
Copy and paste appearance.
That way it's not, you know, jarring for the user that each screen is, you know, a totally different experience.
Yeah. And they do still, I think the one thing jarring me at the moment is that they're still very clean and very white. But it could just be that we give the artboard a slightly off-white fill to give it like something a bit warmer. Maybe like a creamy vanilla-y something. I don't know. I might have to play around with that.
I love that you've compared it to vanilla, like food.
I'm always so fascinated by color names, I have to say. There's one of those kind of color palette websites that if you could give it one color and it would like generate something, and it's almost like playing like twist, you're like, no, twist, like remix it kind of thing every time. It's just a game. It's just I use it like a game. And I always find it really interesting because they'll use the hex code if you want to like copy it into your project, but they give the color a name, and they'll use names like like orchid or parchment or a little bit like how Pantone does as well, which I love. I think it's really cool. So I try to do that with even after I actually did it with like my own brand colors. Cringe, but just to make you feel a bit more like, yeah, it's my brand. I have this color and this color and this color, rather than saying the purple, not that purple, right. The other purple. And it's something that I've seen engineering teams do as well. They'll give the colors names rather than saying red 1, red 2, red 3 for like different shades. They'll name them. And I just think it's great, because then that way, even if you change the hex code value of the of the color, the fact that it's referencing the name in the code means they don't actually have to change it everywhere. Again, they just kind of change it once, a little bit how like if we were doing the same thing in a style guide or design library. I think I like that. I feel like that's a bit a hint of green in there I don't like, but I could fiddle around with that later. I think, let me check the time. We've got like, is it half an hour-ish?
Yep.
Okay. Time flies. But I think we've got a good base.
Yeah, it's looking great so far.
Done our bauble. So I don't quite like the button. That will probably have to change. We'll have titles. So let's add our little guides for our users here. So just like let them know what to do. Pick your color. And this one is way too big. Let's put our layout grid back on. 50. Ooh.
That's very large.
That is huge. I mean, even 30 is pretty big, but I guess if it's a heading.
Do you have any tricks for picking fonts and font sizes, character styles?
I usually don't go any smaller than like a 14, especially for body copy or like for paragraph text. just so that it can be accessible. So that's kind of with the sort of AA and AAA compliance standards, that is what's recommended. And then I'll typically start from there. So if my paragraphs and my body copy is 14, I'll probably add a few points to get to like the lowest level heading and kind of work backwards like that, rather than work from the heading down. But I don't really have any body copy here to do it that way around. And I don't really have a set pattern. I'm sure there is like a set guideline of sizes to use. But I normally just go with what feels right, because for some brands, having really large titles or kind of bold use of type is sort of part of the brand identity and the tone of voice and everything. So rules are great, and I think using them as a guideline is better than using them as like a hard and fast.
That's a good way to think.
You can only do that. You know, I think.
Also, I mean, fonts kind of vary in there, like how large the characters are and the character spacing and all of that. So
no, definitely. I'll add a bow ? They might want to, they might not. Speaking of fonts, I have been hoarding fonts like nobody's business. So much so that my Creative Cloud stopped syncing fonts and kind of broke. And I didn't understand what had gone wrong. And I had to tweet Adobe support, like, help, my fonts are not working. I mean, apparently there's a known bug, so you just kind of have to do a little uninstall, reinstall. But when I went to check out how many fonts I actually had synced and activated, I was like, wait, no, really? I did that? Like, so many. Like, I was like, no,
because you forget
never.
that you activate them. You're like, I don't think to go back.
Yeah, it's like I used that font one time for a project 2 years ago. Oh my gosh. I need to just turn it off. If I've not opened the document, just turn it off. Okay, we've got things here. So
Annika's saying the golden ratio works great for, I guess, picking fonts.
That's a little bit like the like Fibonacci number sequence, right?
Yeah,
that would be good. Let's look that up. What does that say? Let me do that over here. Just in case we get a weird Google run thing. Sequence numbers.
Annika just posted 1,500. I think she's referring to the number of fonts she had activated.
That font size is a bit big. 1,500.
Definitely not that font size.
Oh wow. Okay, so over here, if we were to start with 13, so that's not far off the 14 I was thinking about for paragraph. We go up, then we could use maybe 20, and then 34, 50 for mobile is too big. For web would be perfectly fine for like attention grabbing headlines. So maybe we could use like 34, 20. I would typically use you can get the Adobe XD app on your phone as well, for anyone in chat and watching who might not know, and you can do like the live preview. So if I had my phone connected to my laptop with USB, I could click on we can click this icon here, and I could say, yep, preview it, and it's on iOS and Android. So if you've not played with that, do, because I think that's the best way of telling layout, if it's kind of balanced, if the sizes are right. If your font's really, really small, it's quite hard to tell when you're working on a big laptop screen or a big monitor, but it's so quick to tell once you've actually put it on the device that it's meant for. So we're not going to go with 50. We'll go with, let's try 34 for there.
Yeah, the Adobe XD app for previewing your designs on mobile is really, really handy. It's a great way to tell if like something is off in your design, just sort of very quickly.
Get rapid.
Gift wrap it. Do you have a name for this app?
No. You know what? I would love if chat could come up with a name for me. That would be super helpful.
There we go. You have a task, chat.
What should we name our app? Let's make sure I get these all the right same size. Okay, now let's start where we're going to apply the color. So what I'm going to do here is take our box and go to my layers. Let's just ungroup all of it.
Gareth says it's a wrap. Love it.
Amazing. That is such a fabulous name. $10 points. Wrap it. Okay, wrap it. That's the one to beat, folks. Let's just adjust this slightly. Okay. So with my box here, turn off the borders. And if we give it about, go with an 80% fill. Oops, 80, not 8 to start with. And let's see how this works. So of course I'm testing with pink. Come on, we all know this already. You can get an idea of how we can do this. So 50%.
Oh, look at that.
Because then we still get the shading from behind. Or we could do it the other way around, whereby that is solid. Send it to the back. We change the opacity of the box on top. So if I put that to 20%, 30, 40, it actually start to lose the color. I think 20 is quite good.
That's a really great way to test, like set up it really quickly, different colors on an image.
So here, this is our box color fill. Then what we'll do is start to flesh this out a bit more. So we should probably not start with pink. We should probably start with it being white, and then you click on the baubles. So if I put, oops, if I put this to, let me just turn this to white for a second. And then I'm going to make it a component, but with the baubles selected as well. Did that work? I feel like that did something strange.
No,
there we go. Just turned up the opacity. That's weird.
Yeah, I can see that. I don't know.
Let's have a look. What happened?
Oh.
Something. What did I do? Let's just press undo, and then maybe it's just a layer order. Let's see. So if I were to change this to, yeah, okay, there we go. All good. So that can be our default component, and I'll probably just turn off our box shadows for a minute. So if this is our default, oops. Yeah, let's not have that open. Okay, so we can set that to like a 0 opacity, and you can see this is now default state. We can now add a new state. We'll call this one pink, and then what we do is we'll go in and edit this so that the box fill color becomes pink, and we'll turn up all the opacity. So that way, when we click on each of our little baubles, we can, in prototype mode, tell it to go to each of these color states. And then it looks like you're applying this color to our box.
Nice. Great idea, great plan for like picking the different colors. You're gonna put each one essentially in like a single component?
Yeah, basically in a different state. So using just one component, rather than creating, you know, however many artboards for the different colors, and making it really tricky to then prototype the different journeys. Because you imagine if there's, what we've got here, like 10 colors. So you have this artboard 10 times, and you have to create everything 10 times. I think it would just be a lot easier to to do this way around. So yeah.
Super. I love
Fingers
the
crossed.
way that you use the like color fill over top of the like values for the box as well. So instead of having to like make a new box for each color, you're just reusing the same idea.
Yeah.
Makes
I
it really
mean,
fast.
when it works, it works.
Yeah.
If it didn't work, we'd have to go back to the drawing board and experiment around a little bit. But we're quite lucky. This one is this idea's paid off. Like I said, there wasn't a lot of like, not that there was no planning. Of course, there's planning, but I didn't try too much to create this before. So I wanted everybody to see what it was really like.
Very cool.
I definitely can't spell turquoise. Wow. Okay, so I'm just going to do a few of these.
And of course, you're naming all of the colors, giving them all names.
Otherwise, I'm not going to know what I'm doing at all. I mean, we've got to name it the right state. So then when we're prototyping, we know how to tell the green bauble to show the green box. I mean, we don't want to click the green bauble and everything turns orange. That wouldn't be so good. So now, as I go through all of these different states with our like shadow 3D box behind it, which we could probably, on top, sorry, we could probably even amp that up a little bit to be like 30% or so, just to get the shape a bit more dimension. But yeah, so now whenever we click on a color, it will apply that.
Nice.
Quite excited for.
The gluing that box over top too makes it easy, so you can just adjust the box versus having to go into each of those colors and change the opacity. So very cool.
Yeah, that was something I was that's just luck, pure luck. That was like, is this gonna work? Let's see. We're doing this live. I hope it works. Because you never know. And then
spelling out turquoise for you.
Oh, did I get it wrong?
I don't know. TURQUOISE. Did you get it?
I got it. It's all good. Team effort. Love that. I love that, Annika, you cared to help me with my spelling. Thank you. I do wish there was more. I mean, there is a spell check in XD, but just for your text layers, not for your layer names or anything else.
Yeah.
Okay, so then what we could do is we could probably, we'll pick what color our box is going to be and then follow that journey. So a little bit, smoke and mirrors kind of thing. Because I'm not sure we could use whatever color we end on here to then go here. There's no way of us, that sort of smart logic doesn't really exist with this type of tool, because it's more of the creative side of prototyping, which is what we like. So I'll borrow
Brandon is saying, "Aw shucks, unable to view on an enterprise ID and corporate workstation." Well, welcome, Brandon.
Thanks for joining us.
Yeah. Megan is here. Megan says, "Hey Fergie, hey Jack, hey everyone."
Hello.
How's it going, Megan?
Do a little. Actually, we're near the end, so I'll do a little recap before we finish up.
Yeah, we've got like, still got like 20 minutes ish.
Nice. Okay, let's start doing a pattern. So we could do this probably in the same way. So if depends how we want the patterns to appear. I think the patterns I've made earlier might be a little too much. So let's just experiment and play around with those on an extra box down here. So we've got our little Nutcracker men faces. Now that's going to apply it to every, that's just going to fill the whole shape. That's not quite what we want. So let me go to my layers panel. Let me uncombine those. And let's try it again. So if we were to put that on that side of the box. Interesting. Okay, so it's not quite right because the perspective is off. I wonder if we can fix this with 3D transform.
Yay.
Let's see. What kind of magic can we do today? This is not
nice.
Perfect, but yeah, we almost need to be able to use like the morphing skew kind of controls like you get with Photoshop, but I don't think we can do that here. We can just have these two axes. So it's not bad. It might not be the option we go for, but if we imagine we did this kind of thing, I feel like this pattern's probably a bit much as well. It's quite, oops, no, that's transforming that. Let's click into the image. Try and morph it a little bit more. What we might do is actually just make the pattern, I think will be better, is if we just make the pattern, oops, edit, redo, make it for the sides of the boxes. So if I take the side of the box here and I try and imagine it as a grid. So I wonder if it's a shape that fits within itself. So if I copy paste it, let's make it a new color and then lock the constraints, divide it by 3. Let's do a 3 by 3 checkerboard. So I'm just going to put /3 in that little size.
Yeah, you guys can do math in XD just by typing in like slash, like Fergie just did there, and it will handle the calculations for you.
It's one of my absolute, I mean, again, it's another favorite thing. You don't have to think about the numbers. I love too many things. Let's just, there we go. I love it all. It just makes my life so much easier. Yeah, that doesn't quite work. I wonder what putting just a grid on the top of this, what that would look like. So let's try. Not too sure.
Problem solving in real time.
Yeah.
Doing it live.
No pressure. Let's just not constrain it. And if I do the height divided by 3, then what we could then do is 3D transform it to be.
It's getting close.
Overlap slightly still. I wonder, because it's just going to be a pattern. I just want to create like a grid that we can put our kind of like pattern pieces inside of. But because if I had, let's use the line tool. If I were to chop it in half and then chop it in half again, we'd make a window. So is that truly the middle? Let's see. Not bad for eyeballing it. Okay, that was a bit off. So essentially, this is the shape we now want to draw. So if I go like that, like that.
Oh, I see what you're doing.
Just being really extra. I don't have to create a grid. I'm just that's the way my brain is kind of sort of working it out right now. Let's turn off 3D transform. This is kind of what we're doing, I guess, because they're all slightly different. Because what I was hoping is that we could make this and then we can just drop in the different illustrations, and that way almost like use this as a template, because then they're kind of use the same component trick for applying the patterns.
Right.
Like make it another component layer on top. So let's see, it goes about there, here, so no. So that's kind of our grid, and we could then put in these little fun things. So if there was an option to do a mixed pattern, it could kind of be like that, or if we were saying, you know, it just repeats the same face, like, which is more natural of a wrapping paper. What we could now do is pull this up over here. Ta-da!
Nice.
We've got Nutcracker wrapping paper. Just like that. So yeah, let's try and build out this as a little component. And then we can reuse it, and we'll do the same thing. So how I changed the color on the path for this one, for applying the actual box color, we can then, when we click on each of these little illustrations, it can then flick and switch to the right component state. At least this is the plan. Let's hope it works. Might leave the top of the box just a solid fill. So
like a color, like a different color.
Yeah, I could do. I think it's definitely. Oops, why is my line tool not being selected? L. Okay, that's why. Wrong button.
Do you typically use like a lot of keyboard shortcuts to navigate in XD? Like pick your tools and stuff?
Yeah, that's why I turned on the I have the keystroke, because I
For
am
everybody to see.
Yeah, forever just hitting buttons or doing like the shortcuts for masking and grouping and like turning on 3D transform, you do a Command T and things like that, or create the component, Command K. It's just like a reflex muscle memory type thing that you build up when you're in the program so much. And I just didn't want anyone else to miss out. So if you want to learn the shortcuts for things, then you can see them. It saves me having to say it out loud, really. It's just a little bit helpful. So,
Kristen in the chat found your problem solving of the grid here to be helpful.
oh, awesome. I'm glad. It's probably the only type of maths I ever do. Not the numbers kind, find the surface area of this really funny shape. Not that I could tell the surface area of whatever this is anyway. But yeah, shapes in maths was probably the only type of maths I liked in school. All right, let me just select all of these. Actually, easiest. Just move that away.
Got a little bit less than 10 minutes left.
Alrighty, okay, let's put the Nutcracker in these because it's much easier to do when they have a fill. So let's just turn that on. Top tip, because then you can just drag it over the top of it rather than to the border edge. And let's put this up here. Let's see if we can get this component done. Quick. Racing against time. My favorite thing. I feel like I race against the clock far too often. All right, so we have our Nutcracker paper here. Let's select these plus those two sides and Command K, make that component. Let's highlight that it's this one. So I'll probably just make it thicker, something like that. Don't know. You can play around with these things. So we know that one's selected, and then that way, if we do another state, so let's do the rocking horse, for example. If I go back to my library, if we click in to edit this, and no, failure.
There we go. Oh, now we go.
Where did that actually go?
It went behind your Nutcracker.
Wait, what are my layers doing? What?
Ooh.
What? This is interesting. so many things scripted. You see, this is what happens when you don't. I'm just trying to do it to show. This is what happens when you don't name things. You're going to get lost. So I'm going to have to go and name these offline because nobody needs to watch me do that. But essentially, what we could start doing is, even if we went back to our rectangles here, even if I just draw them again, what we can do is then do the one for the rocking horse, the drums, and everything else. And let's make sure we turn on the fill. No, XD, what are you doing to me? Stop, we're trying to race the clock.
You're
It's
doing
not helpful.
fine.
Oh. Okay, cool. And then this one. Boom, boom, boom. Maybe the horse will just get one side. We'll see. We'll see. Okay, white. White. Panel. Okay. Rocking horse, rocking horse, rocking horse, rocking horse. Group those all together. You know what? I'm going to make a copy. And I wonder, could we be extra smart? Can I actually just flip it and reverse it?
Oh, there you go.
If this works, I'd be so pleased. Now, let me just group that again. I'm going to cut that and then make sure we're here. Then I'll just remove this, paste that in.
Ta-da.
Yay! Rocking horse
Nice.
paper. Did it! I beat the clock. Yes! Just, and then can always come in and, you know, do any resizing to get it perfect and all of that. Yeah, so like move that in. There we go.
The colors really work well on the package too. The turquoise with the pink from the horse. Looks nice.
Thanks. Yeah, I did a little trick. So I used the pink from the patterns, and then when I was selecting all of these, all I did was just slide the color scrubber down, so it's still within like the same tone and everything.
That's a cool little trick
so
for
it looks
picking
like
colors.
a good little collection. The odd two I just shift slightly to do by eye, but it normally can't do you too wrong. So if we were even to make this, you know, any of these colors, it should still be quite harmonious. Yeah, but let me get in a recap before we have to go. So yeah, we have been designing a gift wrapping app, and today we're focusing on planning the screens, doing some lo-fi wireframing, and starting the design, as you can all see. We started off with this flowchart. So I had planned out what the sort of rough journey would be for the user of the app. So select the box, pick what shape it's going to be, select a color that you want it to be, and then add a pattern on top and maybe add a bow. So put down my artboards so that I knew roughly what I'm doing. Also, this just helps me plan, it helps me make sure I don't miss anything out. So we have our first screen over here where we have drawn our lovely different shapes and size containers that we will turn into a awesome little slider tomorrow when we do some more prototyping. We then have our component here for selecting what color our box is going to be. And now we're doing the same here for the pattern overlay. So we're going to have nutcrackers, horses, and then over here, what we'll do is we'll add some bows. So we'll do a similar thing. We'll turn the bow selection into a component, and maybe the little bow can animate in and drop down from the top of the screen or something, just to make it a little bit fun. Or maybe they kind of swipe across. We could maybe do it a little bit differently on this one, because I feel like we've done the same pattern here.
Yeah, the swipe might be nice because it kind of mirrors the initial screen's interaction. So very cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. So
that's it really. We did a little animation to show the box being put together, which will all be unveiled tomorrow. And that's pretty much where we're at for today. And tomorrow we'll finish designing. We might add in a few Lottie animations for a bit of fun, finish the prototyping, and then I can share with everybody how you can share directly from XD to a Behance project.
Great. Sounds awesome. Thank you so much, Fergie. Like Fergie said, we'll be back tomorrow at the same time, 9:30 a.m. Pacific time, working on part 2, going through the rest of this. Fergie will probably go through and name all the layers tonight. Yes. Off stream. But yeah, stick around. The Illustrator Daily Creative Challenge is up next with Julia Vaca, who is hanging out in the chat. And we will see you all tomorrow. Thank you so much, guys. Bye.
Awesome. Thanks, everyone. Bye.